You know when you flip a switch and just expect the light to turn on? Of course you do. But for millions of people in southern Pakistan, that simple act depends entirely on one company. So today, let's pull back the curtain on the massive operation behind the power, the Hyderabad Electric Supply Company, or as we'll call it, HESCO.
Yeah, we rarely think about the huge grid working behind the scenes, right? But for a massive part of Pakistan's Sindh province, keeping the lights on, the farms irrigated, and businesses running all comes down to this single entity.
Just take a look at that number. HESCO serves over 1.16 million active connections. And let's be super clear, that's not 1.16 million people. No, that's homes, businesses, farms, and factories. It's a truly staggering number of individual points of light and power, all managed by just one organization. So what exactly is HESCO? Well, it's the government-owned company that handles power distribution across 12 districts of southern Sindh. Now, it's really important to point out this doesn't include the megacity of Karachi. That's a whole different system. HESCO's territory is this sprawling mix of cities, towns, and some of the country's most vital farmland.
Okay, so now that we know what HESCO is, let's try to get a handle on just how big this operation really is. This is where the true scale of their challenge starts to become crystal clear.
This slide really shows you how you manage a massive territory. I mean, we're talking about an area of over 77,000 square kilometers. To control all of that, HESCO organizes its operations into this kind of pyramid structure. It's all split into 4 large circles, which then break down into 15 divisions, and finally into 69 local subdivisions. It's a classic top-down system designed to make sure power gets to every single corner of their network.
But of course, companies like this don't just appear out of thin air. HESCO's origins are actually part of a much bigger story, a story about how Pakistan completely re-engineered its national power grid.
So the story kicks off back in 1981, when the Single National Power Authority, WAPTA, created a regional board right there in Hyderabad. But the real game changer came in 1998. That's when the government decided to unbundle this one massive entity into smaller, more manageable companies, and poof, HESCO was officially born. Then the map was redrawn again in 2010, when its northern territories were carved off to create another company, SEPCO, all in the name of making things more efficient.
Okay, we've covered the history and the scale. Now let's go inside the grid itself and see how the company actually works, from its internal command structure all the way down to the services it provides to you and me.
This chart gives us a great look at the chain of command. HESCO uses the government's basic pay scale, or BPS system, to structure its management. And while the CEO and directors at the top are handling the big picture stuff, the real on-the-ground work is managed by the executive engineers and the subdivisional officers. These are the people running the local operations that actually keep your lights on.
So how does an average person actually interact with this huge company? Well, let's look at getting a new connection. It's a pretty standard 5-step process. First, you apply. Then HESCO sends a team to survey the site. After that, they issue what's called a demand notice with the cost. You pay the fees, and finally, they come out and install your meter. It's a system that's designed to be straightforward and consistent for everybody.
But it's not just about getting new connections. HESCO is also getting with the times and modernizing how it serves its existing customers. You can now download your bill, you can file a complaint through an online portal, and you can even check for planned power outages or load shedding schedules. They've also embraced renewables, offering net metering for customers with solar panels. It's all part of this push to be more accessible and a lot more transparent.
So we've seen how HESCO is put together. Now let's zoom back out and really try to understand its real-world impact and the challenges it faces trying to modernize for the future.
And this, right here, is why it all matters so much. HESCO isn't just an energy company. It's pretty much the lifeblood of southern Sindh's economy. Its electricity powers the tube wells that irrigate the vast farmlands and keeps the machines humming in the factories. Simply put, when the power is stable, the region's economy is stable.
But let's be real, modernizing an aging grid is incredibly expensive, so HESCO isn't doing it alone. It's partnered with huge organizations like the World Bank and the Asian Development Bank to fund major reliability upgrades. At the same time, USAID has been a key partner in rolling out smart meters. And this is huge, because for utilities in Pakistan, technical losses and electricity theft are massive problems that cost millions. Smart meters are an absolutely crucial tool in that fight. And at the end of the day, all of this complex infrastructure and corporate structure, it all boils down to a very simple mission: lighting up the lives of the people.
It's a really powerful reminder of the fundamental human need that sits at the very heart of this organization.
And this leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? In a world with growing energy demands and the urgent need for smarter, greener grids, how does a legacy utility like HESCO evolve? How does it balance all that old infrastructure with the innovations needed to power the future for millions? Well, that's the challenge they face every single day. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.